hi everybody. This is Madeline. As some of you may or may not know, this is my real voice. This is how I sound. Well, maybe a little bit deeper because I'm not feeling well right now. I am going to present to you a set of comments. Now, the important thing to realize about this is I posted a comment on a video by another very popular YouTuber. I'm not going to say who. They made a video that discussed things that they found disturbing about America. And one of those things was the diagnosis and treatment of mental illnesses and how frequent it is. I misunderstood it. On retrospect, I can totally see that he probably meant, like, you know, with children being diagnosed with ADHD and being given Ritalin and things like that. I can understand that. I can understand why somebody would find that disturbing, and honestly, it is a little bit messed up that, you know, children are so often subject to what is really ultimately a very theoretical science still. But at the same time, I was feeling very hurt. So I said, and I quote, "I'm sorry that needing to be treated for my clinical depression is disturbing to you." Because that's what it felt like. It felt like the fact that people had mental illnesses was disturbing to him. Not that the diagnosis seems to be more frequent than not. And then there are a series of comments that followed. I'm just going to read these. It's not the drugs, it's the fact a lot of people abuse the drugs. Well, first of all, you have my sympathies for your affliction, but I believe he was referring to the sheer number of those who have depression, not the disease itself, or that there is something wrong with having it, just the fact that it seems to have become an epidemic. It's okay for you to have it, but some people get so stuck in using it that when something bad happens and they can't take the pills anymore, the depression comes crashing down on them. It's horrible for that person and the people around them. I lost a very, very dear person to me through it. I think you're depressed because you're fucking ego as fuck, dude. Get surgery. Try books. That's what people used to do. A lot of people fake it for the attention or to abuse the meds. Some actually need the meds, but think they have to be on the verge of suicide to be allowed to get help. The stigma of depression not existing or people doing it for attention is why some people delay getting help. Talk about taking something out of context. The existence of depression isn't disturbing. It's a real thing. It's scary how high the number is in the US. In most third world countries, depression and anxiety don't exist because they have other things to worry about. Not, oh, someone said I'm fat and boring. Abuse is a better reason. But I don't think 9 out of 10 people who suffer depression were abused. I'm not offended when it's needed. I have my own needs, but the overprescribed and where it's not needed. Doctors treat us like they run a fast food restaurants and never find the real prob. They prescribe anything out of their convenience. Or convince. Okay, that one made no sense. This is why I don't think depression is a serious condition. You make yourselves poor victims. Man the fuck up and embrace the world you're living in. You must have never had a parent with PTSD from being in war. I know parents that beat, stabbed, and shot at their own kids. Trust me, those parents needed the meds. That's different from depression. That's actually a mental illness, not a seek for attention. There's so many people, that's what's disturbing. Duh! It's not disturbing to him, he thinks it's sad. I have autism and I didn't find it offensive at all. I think it's sad. I hope you feel better. Just to restate, the topic of the video is disturbing facts about American society. So he does find it disturbing. People needed to be drugged because that's how difficult society is. It's hard to be happy in the world the way it is. So a ton of people need to be drugged so they can stay productive. It's quite sad. Vanilla's comments are actually pretty nice, and thank you, Vanilla. You're also one of the better commenters on here. Madeline Actrice. I was diagnosed with clinical depression at the age of 12. I took meds at first, but refused to at the age of 14. They made me feel disgusting, and pretty much turned me into a drone. Instead, I turned to meditation and other forms of positive expression through myself, such as chanting, dancing, playing instruments, and scream therapy. In the past 13 years, I've seen the same results in myself through natural means that I see in people who take medication to mild down their disease. I won't deny it's a lot harder to do things this way, but you feel better, and it's not impossible. Pill companies want you to think that it is. I mean you no disrespect by this statement. As my mother always told me, the world can never make you sad. It's only you that can make you sad by letting the things that don't matter get to you. As for depression, this of course doesn't apply. Oh, well thank you, T. I'll skip that comment. No, what's disturbing is the psychological disorders exist in the first place. At least I think that's the point the video's trying to make. Abuse the drugs? So surely you mean compensate for woefully underprescribed medication. Oh, thank you. That's nice. I don't think he meant the treatment of depression is disturbing. I think he meant the amount of people being treated for it is disturbing. Actually, no. I don't know where you got that information from other than your head, but third world countries have depression and suicide there as well. Thank you, Emily Abridged. You are also awesome. You should smoke weed. Fuck pills. You see, I have done that before, and it doesn't have the effect people seem to think it has the effect of. It's cool, but I can't function on that. I mean, the disturbing fact is the numbers of these who are depressed, which is not fair. Stop! Just stop, kid! I'm 26, Fredra. No, what's disturbing is that doctors prescribe us with depression pills that can, and most do, cause suicide. When they could just fully legalize the medical use of marijuana, medication doctors try to prescribe us with. I hate to say this, but marijuana doesn't solve everybody's problems. I know, it's a very unpopular opinion. Trust me, I enjoy cannabis from time to time, and it does help with my anxiety. But if I'm feeling depressed, nothing really will help. If my brain's chemistry is fucked up that day, a little bit of fucking weed isn't gonna help. It's just not. And that may just be me. That may just be my brain. Every brain is individually different, which is why my meds work for me and may not work for somebody else. But it's just very inappropriate for people to, like, say that I'm doing the wrong thing for me when they don't have my brain. Never say sorry for nothing, not even jokingly! I believe and would like to hope that the disturbing thing being pointed out was the state of American and the greater world society, in the sense that it has deteriorated to the point of making depression a prevalent problem. Because, you know, it couldn't be like gay, lesbian, and, you know, queer people where they were just afraid to say it, or, you know, it was not a thing, so everybody just ignored it. Nah. Or maybe because those... Wait, hold on. Okay, cool. Quentin, you're awesome. People in the third world countries know the meaning of family, friends, and accountability. We promote and maintain anonymity, individualism, and plausible deniability. Each other's lives mean nothing to each of us, as long as we see no direct link for our benefit. We say we feel sorry for those people, we say something should be done, we think, oh god, that could never be me, and soon, it will be. We fail to see that every one of us is connected to each other. That is our failing, and soon will be blatantly clear that it is our demise. I don't know what the point of that was, but it was so dramatic. I have depression and have been diagnosed. However, medicine isn't as healthy as going to therapy and learning skills to deal with it. It will create habits and make you feel better, and it isn't temporary like medicine. I actually do go to therapy, and I do have coping skills, and I use them quite regularly. But it's not enough, because my brain hates me. It is literally broken. My brain's chemistry is broken. I don't know how many different ways I can say that. It's just not working. It doesn't work. I do not have the serotonin in my brain to promote normal, healthy thought and a normal, healthy lifestyle. Coping mechanisms help a lot, especially on days where I'm not doing very well, like today. Today, I am forcing myself to get stuff done because otherwise I will not be able to, especially with the cold I'm coming down with or whatever bug this is. Coping mechanisms aren't enough for me, and I appreciate that they are for you, but they don't work for me alone. They work, just not alone. No, that's not what it's saying. It's saying that it's disturbing that all people do about it is give people with mental illnesses drugs and say that ought to fix it. But they don't, though. Like, it's clear that some of these people haven't spent any time on in an actual mental ward or on a mental health unit or behavioral health unit. They don't just throw drugs at you. What they do is they discuss with you what's going on. They try to figure out anything in your life that could be causing this behavior. They look at past records to see how, you had been doing in the past, to see if this was a common repeating thing or if it was just temporary. And most of the time, they'll just hold you there for about 3 days to give you time to calm down and detach yourself from the problem and look at it in a different way. And they also teach you coping mechanisms on the unit and stuff like that. It's not just, here's some pills, have a good day, because they know as well as anybody that it's guesswork at this point. We don't quite know what fixes people's brains, and what fixes one brain will not fix all the others. It's really silly that people seem to think that everybody's mind works the same way, and it upsets me.
That's not his point. You may very well need help, but I can almost guarantee that your depression is complicated by the meds. The way they affect your brain is awful, I speak from experience. Not to mention the point is they are massively overprescribed, and the issue obviously needs a smarter approach than dangerous meds. Hope you're well.
Well, thank you, Scott Johnstone. However, if you ask any of my friends, they will be the first to tell you that I actually am much better on my meds. Ask my family members how I was without my medication. Ask anybody who has any relation to me in any way how depression affected me throughout my life and how I'm doing now. I used to not be able to talk about what happened to me in college because it was such a traumatic event. And now I can talk about it quite plainly. I'm not going to right now because I haven't put any warnings up that that is a topic I was discussing, and I don't intend to discuss it on this video. But I am so much better for the help I have received. And it really bothers me that people think this is just fake. A lot of these are just the medication comments. Alright. What's disturbing is the number of people with the need to be treated. Almost starts to make me think that depression is just people who can't deal with their shit on their own.
The point here is if it's really necessary that so many people need treatment, to take pills more specifically, to treat their problems. Sometimes many of their problems are related to something in their lives or simply to know themselves better.
It's another pill thing.
Oh look, a butthurt internet user! If you really need it, good for you, but let's be honest here. Most American depressed people aren't actually depressed. They're doing it for show or they're being little bitches. You live in America, really? Clinical depression? Get over yourself, you undeserving privileged cunt.
The problem I have with these two comments is depression's a real thing, and they don't prescribe medication or diagnose you with clinical or major depression for something simple like seasonal, or something like, say your dog died. You're gonna be depressed because of that, but it's gonna be an extremely short-term thing. Picture that your whole life, and then come talk to me, please. Thank you. I appreciate that. Here's a tip. Ditch the pills and get a cannabis. It's a plant and it's known to help with depression. Get cannabis, hit it and watch as your depression melts away. Oh, and don't go off on it's gonna get me high. First, different strains have higher THC levels than others. Some have higher levels of CBD. Hybrids like Charlotte's Web who have higher levels of CBD to THC. Get cannabis. My problem with these comments, again, and I feel like I need to restate this, is when I'm high, I'm not functioning. I cannot function. I just want to sit back and enjoy the high, honestly. I'm either sleepy, or too relaxed, or too giggly, or I just don't care enough to do anything. I will literally lay on a fucking couch and munch on things and watch TV because that's all I can do. And I don't think people understand that. Like, that's not just me either. And once again, that's a very, like, individual case. It may work that way for you, but it doesn't for me. Yes, Madeline, he was speaking specifically to you. Way to take a generic comment about doctors possibly overprescribing drugs instead of looking deeper into each individual situation and treating people as individuals, and instead take personal offense in making a big deal about it. And this is the last comment, and this is the one I'm going to end my note on, because this video is getting really long now. The problem with that thought process is that doctors really don't prescribe drugs anymore. Like, they try really hard not to, and I know that sounds really silly, and some people will argue with me to the death about this, but if you actually have a mental condition, they actually don't even prescribe you drugs for that right away. The first time I attempted suicide in March of several years ago, because I don't remember because my brain sucks, I was not prescribed anything, actually. I talked to my psychiatrist because this was a problem, like, with low mood and things like that for a long time, throughout my whole life. And he was like, okay, we'll try a very low dose of Zoloft. It helped. It helped immensely, and I felt so much better from that. But it was clear that I was still going to have low moments. I still do. They're just much fewer and much more far in between. I don't go to the hospital like 5, 6, 7 times a year, every other month. I actually have managed to cut it down to, yeah, I'll go maybe 3 or 4 times a year because of low moments, but I know when I need to go and I take myself. I don't have to, you know, be carted in there. I'm not, like, actively trying to hurt myself or others. I never try to hurt others, honestly. I'm a big snuggle bunny. I'm only a danger to myself. But, it's important that I've made these steps. It's important that I know when I need help and I can go get it. And comments like these, it's the biggest part of why people don't go get help. And why they're afraid to go get help. It's messed up. It's not cool. It's not helpful. It's actually very hurtful. That's really all there is to say about it. If you watched this all the way through, good for you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you listening to my stupid little rant here. If you didn't, then, I mean, you're not hearing this, so, I mean, whatever. It's just, it bothers me that so many people still feel like depression isn't a thing, and that people don't need medication, and that they know everything about the world. Each brain is different. And I think we really should look at it that way instead of at this, oh, nobody needs medication, nobody needs anything, blah, 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 junk. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Next week I'll probably try to have something funny up for you guys. I know you deserve it. For now, I'm going to go lay down and play Song of Seasons because I feel like shit, and probably sleep a lot. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Bye. Trippy tunnel thing.